Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Mulder. Today's show is probably going to be a stream of consciousness, but so be it. Uh, I was sent an email with a question concerning angels and radionics, and I think they wanted to ask, what angels should I go by, sigils, that kind of a thing. Uh, that basically do your own research. Whatever resonates with you, use it. And this kind of leads into a really an interesting subject because um, when I first got involved in radionics, and then I met with Charles Casamano, Chuck was a bit of a black magician. I mean, he went through a lot of things, and he dealt with demonic more than anything. I think he did deal with the angelic from time to time, but again, it was just his thing was demons, and frankly, it just never resonated with me. It was just something uh, I try from time to time, taking out bad guys, so to speak. I'm using air quotes here. Yes, I did in the early days. I just, I was just learning. I really didn't know. Uh, I didn't really uh, look at it as on dealing with the dark side and yeah, I was using this these thought forms. That's what I really thought of mass was like an energetic thought form. It had a purpose behind it, and in this case, each one of them had its own case by case basis. Whatever, they all had their own special little niche or their own little special power, and so from time to time, would I use some of these sigils or whatever in radionics? Yes, I did. Was the results pretty good? Yes, it was. I have to say. But here's the thing: I always felt icky about it. It just personally, it just didn't really. It wasn't really my thing. And I even told Chuck, hey Chuck, I'm more on the Christian side of things. I'm more on the angelic side of things, and he always have his little remark concerning Michael was, I'd like to cut his head off. And my response would be, oh, hey, I'd like to watch you try. And, but, I've used Michael in radionics experiments, and I feel better about it. I think he's outperformed some of the other things that I've used, or some of the other entities rather that I've used in the past, and I just found it. Uh, I think it's cleaner. Let's just put it this way. And here's the thing: you're not looking for revenge, and I've stressed this before because there's a different energy behind revenge, and there's a different energy behind justice. If you go in, if you go in into a situation, into an operation with looking for justice, you want all parties to be compensated for their injury or their loss, and you want them to be justly compensated. Revenge, that's that's on the dark side. Okay, it has a different energy to it. Don't look for revenge. Look for justice. Revenge, it's something it's just not going to fare well for you. Um, and I've kind of led me to the subject of magic. I'm going to kind of go into this for a little bit. Um, about 5, maybe 6 years ago, through a mutual associate, I met a guy who was a black magician, and we did it was sort of a audience participation thing, and they were going to do a ritual, and I think the one that they were going to do was something concerning wealth, and again, that seems to be a running topic when it or a running topic, yes, for when people are ordering these machines. One of the top things is finances. So, they want to win the lottery, or they want to get this job, or careers, and that kind of thing. But it was a financial thing, and he used I don't know if it was a demon. I think it may have been. In hindsight, it may not be like a really bad one, but it was for the acquiring wealth and that kind of a thing. And also, he wanted to use a drop of blood. Everybody should put a drop of blood on the sigil, I think, if memory serves. And I refuse to do that. It's just something, uh, Chuck and I, we've had discussions on this thing, and that was one of the few things that we actually agreed upon. That it was not, it was, in his opinion, and again, just his opinion, he thought this was a dangerous practice. And and that's another thing. That's the reason why he refused to do health stuff because if he was trying to help somebody, he was afraid of energetic blowback, radionic energetic blowback from doing an operation to help somebody else. And I think that kind of went in the same league as to the, when it came to using his own DNA on in an operation to to do something. And so this is just it's just not he was that was one of the things that really did scare him was doing any kind of energy work for other people. And I personally rarely there's certain things I will do for other people. There's certain things I will not touch. And I what I will do is give them a machine or so give them a machine that will handle their particular purpose. And that's where I go with that. And but there's certain things I personally will not touch, and I think that was one of the things. And getting back to this, he was wanting everybody should put a drop of blood on a sigil or what have you. I refuse to do that. At the time, I was working on a little project with a piece of work out of Mexico that happened to be a human trafficker. And it's my pleasure to take care of this piece of human debris. And I decided, well, my question was, what about if I just use this individual as a quote unquote sacrifice to this entity? And he said, oh, that's fine. So that's what I did. I took a piece of trash. I don't know, this warped piece of, I don't know, just built. And basically to this day, I think they've been persecuted, and I think they're getting a lot of what what they dished out. And so it's pretty. It worked out to be an interesting experiment, and from that point on, we built a relationship. And I decided, I was going about this. I always made it very clear that this is not my thing. It doesn't resonate with me on this kind of stuff. When you're dealing with demons, this is something that I really am not. Uh, I'm not a big fan of personally. So I've always, stayed away from that, and I've always worked with angelic forces, and so, and they knew this. And anyway, I did a lot of observation on magic, and I guess I've had over 5 years of watching, magicians, seeing how they, what they do in their practices and this kind of thing. I've even provided them with radionics machines to help them uh, with these practices. And I thought what it would do is it would give them some form of protection when they're dealing with this stuff, and kind of, basically give them a bit of a firewall radionically. Plus, it's a lot cleaner. If they're going to do this stuff, go at it. Here's a better way of doing it. And that's what I provided these people. And and again, my observation of them and of this, and I realized at the end of the day, after 5 years of watching the magicians, seeing people doing this stuff, I come to the conclusion that yes, from time to time, you may seek out an entity, whatever your belief system is, but from majority of the operations that you handle that is considered quote unquote magical. The magic is in you. You are the magic. You are what make these machines work. You are the true magic behind these machines. And it's not do I work with angels like Michael, for example? Yeah, Michael's my top man. He's like, I've said this many times, I consider him like a big brother. He's always watching my back and literally and figuratively. And so I I've walked into the lion's den, and I came out of this lion's den unscathed. but again, the what I realized was you are the magic. Do you need to go deal with, and I hate to repeat myself here, but I mean, do you, a majority of the things that you do radionically, you do not need an entity. You do not have to work with an entity. You can do a lot of this yourself. The only time I really uh, ask for Michael's help radionically or what have you is when I feel that I'm being attacked. And so, and I've learned how to, I've been given, he even tells me what to do. It's the damnest thing. The guy's Michael's a quote unquote man of few words. But when he says them, you know exactly what he means. And so, but it's just, I, he's had my back and like I said, you know, I'm, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, but uh, it's just again the magic is within you. Yeah, yeah, you can go either path. You can go down the angelic path. You can go down the demonic path. The choice is yours. I'm a firm believer in free will. Just just stay in your own lane. That's all. Stay in your own lane, and uh, and let it be at that. But yeah, again, the magic is truly within you, and I hope I'm not rambling. But this is just something. It's been kind of a. I've been thinking about this subject for a while now, and I'm glad that uh, I was able to kind of gestate on it and vegetate on this particular subject. So there you go. See, next thing on the docket here, the quantum project. All right. Uh, I am going to try to go into more detail with Dr. Drachenblut on the next show. We're scheduled for next Saturday, I think, and the good doctor and I are going to discuss sort of an overview of where I'm going to take this stuff radionically, and he is a key man when it comes to making this stuff work in with technology. Uh, the the next phase of this thing here is uh, basically we've already radionically there's already people out there that have their own operations where they're tapping into the power of these quantum computers. Okay, all we're doing is just using them as a resource. That's what they are. They are a resource. Uh, and again, they're kind of creating the way I look at it, and I may be totally wrong, but from a quantum viewpoint, again, I know they know this is real, that human consciousness interacts with these things and does affect these machines. They're very, very sensitive to this. But from what I can tell, it's creating a reality vacuum. And I'm using this in air quotes, a reality vacuum. Super cold. We're doing everything to keep all forms, what we would call this reality out of the scenario and just giving it a vacuum where it's able to because nature it's always constantly trying to fill a vacuum. So what it's doing is it's trying to equalize itself and taps into other realities. And this is really, I think, the latest. This is beyond anything I've ever seen. Does this interfere? Are we playing God in this? No, no. If I look at it this way, if God didn't want us to tap into a resource, why would He give us the ability to do it? And this can be used for good or for bad. I prefer to use it for good, to benefit things. And I tell you, the rabbit hole, the, the people that are at the beginning of this, and you know who you are. This is beyond anything anything that anybody's doing. I haven't seen it out there, and we are at the really we are at the forefront of this. We are the the pioneers of this latest phase of radionics. Quantum computers, again, it's just a resource. Look at it, nothing more, as a resource, something to tap into. And I think that's uh, really the proper way of looking at this reality, because this reality, yeah, we're all inside of a matrix, but uh, we're able to, this time we have a legitimate way, a way to actually tap into it and make it do things on a major scale what it normally would not do. And I wonder the things that we're seeing in this physical reality. I if somebody's already done this, if what we're seeing in this reality is a is somebody who's already tapped into quantum computers or something along that line, something in that that's something that works similar to quantum computers and are able to tap into realities and somehow or another uh, intermix two different realities, take one from column A, one from column B, and come up with an entirely new reality. This is what I'm seeing. And why now? Why are we starting to recognize this now? What is the reason? What's the grand plan on this? But as of right now, what we're doing, I think we have a good opportunity of using this tech to create our own Mandela effects. It may be your own personal reality, which is what it's all about anyway. Uh, the possibilities here are limitless. Is your imagination, your reality that you're going to be working in. You have your own little bubble. I have my own little bubble. Joe Blow down the street has his own little bubble. We all have our own separate realities, and this will be able to make things happen that normally would not happen. And so I hope this is just a little rant to mine. I hope it has some organization to it, and that you're kind of getting a little bit of insight as to where things are going, sort of how my belief system on certain subjects, and hopefully it gave you a little bit more clarity. With that note, y'all have a great day. Bye.